Police in New York City say an attack outside the home of the city's mayor is currently being investigated as an ISIS-inspired act of terror. It all happened during dueling protests over the weekend. Two men seen throwing improvised explosive devices, and one of those devices was lit.
They were improvised explosive devices that could have caused serious injury or death. We were fortunate that the devices used this weekend did not cause the kind of harm that they were certainly capable of causing.
The two men, one just 18 years old, the other 19, are now in federal custody. They're both from Pennsylvania, where their homes were searched. The investigation continued Sunday when authorities searched the vehicle the men allegedly drove and discovered another suspicious device. Officers evacuated nearby buildings while the bomb squad removed it for further testing. NBC News national law enforcement and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter joins us now. So, Tom, the officials directly investigating this right now are saying that the suspects referred to ISIS during interrogations. Walk us through what happened here.
Yeah, that's our reporting. By the way, a couple of updates just in the moment. It took me to come down from my office to speak with you all. Balat is expected to be in federal court shortly. We should get the charging documents for both of these individuals here within the next hour or so. And then that device that you mentioned, we saw the robot there pulling at the door of that car. That device has since been tested, has found out not to have an explosive. So that was a container that they were certainly concerned about, but it turns out that there's not going to be an explosive inside of there. Yes, to your point in question there, Vicky, obviously this is a concerning case. We are told, according to multiple people that have been briefed on this investigation, that one of these individuals directly referenced ISIS, and it appears that they have, and we're still waiting, as I said, on the charging documents, but our reporting is, based on a number of people we've spoken to, these individuals appear to have an issue with the fact that they thought their religion was being targeted by this far-right protester who is speaking outside of Gracie Mansion, so that there's some sort of a nexus there. How strong that is, we'll see. But obviously, given the type of explosive and the device, very concerning.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? You talk about the robot pulling it out. We're seeing it here on the screen. You said there was not an explosive inside, but then what does that tell us about the potential scope of damage?
Sure, not an explosive inside the one that was in the vehicle, but the image that we're looking at there on screen, that's the one that appears to have had an explosive inside. You can see there a canister. It's wrapped up in tinfoil. Had this gone off, there was shrapnel inside of there. And the explosive, TATP, which is a favorite among terrorists, particularly in Europe, because you can make it out of household items. You can buy the things to make it from a store. Nobody would check it. Nobody would necessarily flag it as suspicious. Very easy to put together. It is highly unstable. You see them on one video lighting something. You wouldn't need to do that. If you just threw it hard against the wall, it would go off.
Was this the one that was lit?
This was the one that was lit. They tried to light. It didn't even need that if it was properly made. There was an error in the way that they made it. We're not going to get into that, but obviously that's what's got officials so concerned.
Luckily, it didn't go off. It would have been a much worse situation.
Definitely.
All right, Tom Winter. Tom, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.